Welcome into the Lounge, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ryan Mink here with Garrett Downing, and we are thrilled to sit down with Ravens defensive tackle C.J. Okoye. C.J., thanks for joining us. And, I want to kind of introduce you to fans, let them know about your story a little bit. And so you're originally from Nigeria.
Yes.
And kind of grew up playing basketball more than football. Yep. And from there, you know what? I'm just going to let you take it away. Tell fans kind of how you found football.
It's kind of a funny story. So let me go back a little bit. It was like 2021. It was 2020 first when they told me about football, but I didn't put mind to it because it looked like something from the movies, like you playing basketball and somebody's like telling you like you're gonna make it to like NFL, and I didn't believe that, So I was like, no, I'm not gonna try it out. And so 21, I have friends, people that I knew that came to the league, and I was like, okay, I think it it works out. Mm-hmm. So 2021, I think 22, thereabout, when I was playing basketball, I remember I just finished this tournament, and a friend invited me to just come for a tryout. Like, it's just a tryout, just come try out. So I came under a former basketball player. He was drafted by the Cleveland, Ejike Obwaja. He called me in and he said, just come try out. So I came.
And you were a pretty good basketball player.
Yes.
Also, for listeners out there, I
was decent. Yeah.
This wasn't like a pickup game. Like you were pretty good.
Yes, I was decent. Thank you. But
you're humble, decent. He says decent.
Yeah. Well, it was like not a national team. What was the level?
It was a club level.
Club level.
Yeah, Nigerian club level. So it's nothing like the NBA, but it's like our own NBA, So. Okay. After playing that, and I came, I didn't know the drills, I didn't know nothing. I did horrible at drills, but when it came time for like one-on-one, because I played O-line then, I kind of like know what to do, because they like told me a simple job, like don't let this guy touch this guy. So this guy is the quarterback, this guy is the defensive line. So I was like, okay. Yeah. I did that, and from there we went to Ghana, and the person that took us there, like NFL Africa, by the person Osio Menyora, he's the person that like took us under his wings and did that for us and brought us here.
Long-time New York Giant, defensive end, Super Bowl winner.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's really been invested in the NFL Africa.
Yes, he has.
He has, and so he kind of like took us to like a NFL Africa in Ghana, and that's where I was like the what's it called, offensive MVP, because I now went back and did my research, and I didn't do horrible at the drills again. So yeah, and after that we went to UK, we did the international combine and everything, and yeah, I'm here now. So
I was just curious, CJ, like take me to that first tryout that you had. Like, you didn't know the game at all. Like, did you know the rules? Did you know players? Like, what was your knowledge level at that first tryout?
The funny thing is, I played my first NFL game. I still didn't know the rules. So, yeah, when Coach talked about I had a sack, I didn't know it was a sack. That was true.
That was for the Los Angeles Chargers, by the way. His first NFL game in the preseason.
Yes. I didn't know it was a sack. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was a tackle for loss or something.
Yeah.
It was my teammate that was like, you got a sack. I didn't even know.
What's a sack?
I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know it was a sack.
Wow.
Yeah. So the first tryout, I didn't know nothing. I was like, we didn't even have cleats on. That's the worst part. I have to share cleats with like two more people. So you need to wait to like get cleats from somebody that already went and put it on and go do yours. So it was just so different. I didn't know. I just do what they told me to do, So.
And what size cleats do you wear? I mean, I don't.
16.
Okay, there's probably not too many size 16s laying around.
No, definitely not in Nigeria, because we don't do football, So it's hard to find cleats out there. Yeah.
So you came to the Los Angeles Chargers. You were part of the international pathway program that the NFL has, and you spent the 2 years on the Chargers practice squad.
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like, and how much do you feel like you learned through all that?
A lot, because I feel like I'm like the person I'm today. I mean, football wise, and you know, and like attitude wise, like inside and outside, like the field and everything. Because of that, you know, because I really had good vet. Number one, first time I got there, I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know where to eat. This is my first time. Believe me, this is my first time in the West Coast, you know. So I didn't know anywhere, you know. So I had some good people like Morgan Fox, Nick Williams, you know, like Sebastian Joseph, like people that actually like, you know, helped me out. So yeah, I feel like it helped me a lot.
Right.
So how much of, going back to like the knowledge of the game piece, when you come here you're playing for the Chargers on the practice squad and you're trying to learn the game, like guys talk about making a jump from college to the pros, and that's players who have like played football their entire lives and like went to Georgia, you know, and it's like, oh man, it's a big jump. Like you're learning the rules, like you don't know what a sack is. So like, what was your process of just learning the game when you got to the NFL level?
I just feel like I'm like a kid, you know, like trying to like soak everything in, you know, like there's no limit to learning, you know, like every single thing you do, every time, everything, just pay attention, just learn every time. Like there's no, I think that was my biggest thing. Like there's no limit to learning, you know, and I thank God sometimes like I didn't go to college because I didn't pick up the bad habits, you know. Not everybody teaches good techniques out there. So, and sometimes I wish I went to college, you know, because sometimes things just, like I know if I went to college, I've gotten like the instincts of the game, you know, like, okay, when I see the backfield or see some other stuff, I just know, okay, this is what they're going to do, you know. So it's just like, that's how it is. Like,
Right.
And were you like immediately attracted to football once you started playing? Like once you start going to these camps and you go to the international combine, did you start to fall in love with the game, or did you just feel like, hey, everyone's telling me I can be really good at this. This could be an opportunity. Like what was it in your mindset that made you pursue football?
I liked it because it was harder. You know, like it was a challenge, and I feel like that's why I liked it more, because it wasn't something you're just good at, you know. Like when you're just good at something and you didn't work for it, you tend to like lose interest in that. I don't know if I'm communicable. That's one for me, because when I started playing, I was like, okay. I started watching the game. I started like, first of all, it took me like a month to be on my stance. That's for offense, first of all. I was watching YouTube because I didn't have any coach, so I was watching YouTube to get on my stance. So when I came over to the state, they put me to defense. Now I have 3 months to like come up with a new stance. So
You're like, I just learned this offensive stance.
that's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, I just learned it like 2 months ago. Like, okay, now I have to like learn another stance. You know, it was hard. Like it was really hard. I used to wake up, I don't know, my roommate might tell you this. I used to wake up at like early morning, like 5, to just get in my stance. And for real, like
That's scared. You wake up and you see you in your stance. With the first thing you open your eyes.
I broke a chair because I was trying to like get in my stance and just strike a block and get because I didn't have any other places to do that. That's what they told me. They say you need to work extra, and I didn't know how to work extra because all the time was taken like by like workout meetings and everything. So the only time I can find is either you're resting or like, you know, or you like want to go get food. So and they prioritize us resting because they already walked us like, down to the ground. So you need to rest because tomorrow we're going at it again. So I have to like wake up early to like do that like for a minute, then go study some of the plays my coach be drawing up back in the IMG. So do that, then go out for breakfast. Yeah.
So this season has been the first time that you've seen game action. You were elevated for 2 games from the practice squad. It was the Chiefs game and against the Texans. Had 7 tackles in those games. And then you get signed to the 53-man roster, which when we spoke in training camp, you told me that was, quote, a far goal. You're like, I want to make the practice squad. The 53, like I realize that's down the road for me. Well, it wasn't that far, it turns out. Tell me what the emotions were like when you were signed to the 53-man roster.
Man, first of all, I want to thank God because all this won't be possible without him, And I just want to thank like the coaches, this won't be possible without them too, because it's the belief system, like obviously it's when we spoke, like when I told you that, like actually it's like the far goal, like the goal for me is today, attacking today.
Right.
So back then was like training camp, and training like 53 is like after training camp, after the 3 games, and you got 2 more practices before you make your 53. So I was like, you know what? That's the goal after training camp.
Gotcha.
And that don't stop. If I was still in the practice squad, I would still be trying to make it every single day. Like we used to get like, I don't know, 18 weeks.
Yeah.
So everybody, like people get elevated like with 15. So it is what it is, So that's why I told you it was like a far goal, but I just tried like attack each day because each day I feel like have a life of his own.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Coach Harbaugh said, it's night and day just how far you've come as a player since even when you first arrived here. And Coach, Dennis Johnson, your defensive line coach, has talked about how much you've improved. Where do you feel like in your game you've made the biggest strides?
I feel like for me, it's not like the biggest. I feel like I still want to get better.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like I could still get better in the run game. I wanna be respected. That's it for me. Like I want to be respected. I want them to pull up and be like, we're not gonna run to his side. We're gonna run to the other side. Like that's what I want.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when they pull up the tape, I want them to say, we're gonna double him. And we're gonna single block everybody because we know if we single block him, he's gonna disrupt the play. So That's what I want. That's putting respect to your name. So that's what I'm working towards, and I feel like I can get there with like the help of the coaches, and yeah.
Well, I'll say this. Pro Football Focus grades, you rank currently 11th among all NFL defensive interior tackles in run stop among those who have played at least 20% of their snaps. So it's happening. Yeah. You're getting the respect and the numbers, the grades from Pro Football Focus kind of prove it. Just to let you know.
Appreciate it.
Well, I wonder if the Bears might be pulling up that tape this week saying, "Nah, I don't want the big guy in the middle."
Yeah, that's what I want. I want everybody to be like, yeah, he's gonna be a problem in the run game. So.
Yeah, even though you're so young to the game, did you feel pretty early on, given your size? I mean, you're freaking huge, and like and like your arm length and your motor and just how hard you play. Like, did you feel early on that, like I can make it at this level, even though I don't have that background of football?
I'm not the kind of person that look far ahead to the future, Like, that's in the back of my mind. Believe me, like, I know, like, I want to make it. That's why I strive so hard to, like, be one of those guys that, like, Ray Lewis, like, those people, like, everybody know their style of football, so, like, AD. But I feel like everybody want to get to that level, like, play that kind of, like, how will I put it?
With that tenacity kind of?
Yeah, something like that. So,
have you just gone about learning the history? You mentioned Ray Lewis,
Yeah.
and it's not like some guys are like, oh man, I grew up watching Ray Lewis, but as we already covered, that's not the case for you.
No.
So like, did you like have to learn a little bit about? And I'm curious how you did it. Learn about like Ravens history and some of the players who have been here.
Believe me, I'm still learning, because I think that's one of the things I did when I came to the state was, you mentioned when I was in the Chargers, I tried to it was harder to learn everything at once. You know, like I didn't even know how to drive when I came to the state. I didn't have a license. I didn't have nothing. I had a bike that I took to work. So
A bicycle?
yes.
Okay.
So it was funny, yes, but
Just the mental image of you on a bicycle.
that's it. So
is
I
hilarious.
drove that to work every day because I didn't have a license. I didn't even know. I'm still learning learning the culture, learning the playbook, learning how it's just learning how to.
I mean, you're learning life. Like you're
In
not just
general.
learning football. You're learning life in a whole new place, in a whole new country.
Yeah, so I think that's still it. Moving from LA to here, I think it's still the same thing, but the thing is, I'm not starting from beginning. I'm starting from experience. So now I already did it before, and it's a lot easier now. So I'm still learning the Ravens past players. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just bicycling in Los Angeles versus Baltimore alone. I mean, that's just so much easier.
I know. Yeah, it was something else there.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. To be honest, I think a lot of guys would give up just because of the challenges of that you have to overcome. You have to go to a whole new place, and you're away from home, and you're learning all these new things, and it's
It's a high hurdle.
It's a big bar to climb, and I think not everybody would have that in them. How have you been able to overcome any of those feelings, if they ever existed at all, to be able to pursue and get to this point?
First of all, I told you I like the challenges. I came. For me, I feel like it's just the challenge that that helps me, because I'm here. I don't have my family out here. I'm just here by myself. The drive of me even bringing my family here to, if I want to quit, not today, maybe I'll quit tomorrow. Then when tomorrow comes, I'll quit the next day. I'll never quit today. So first I'm up, I'm not gonna quit that day. That's the mindset I have. So my family too is one of my biggest motivation. Yeah. So,
How does your family stay in touch with the game, and have you been able to convert them to football fans?
yeah, they do. My brother's been watching the game, and we've been talking about it, but I speak to them via WhatsApp. I know it's not a thing in America, but
No,
yeah, we talk, we FaceTime on WhatsApp and everything, and
Nice.
they're proud of me. So
Are they able to watch your games?
my brother did,
Yeah.
but my mom haven't. But my brother would help her out with the YouTube and yeah.
Have they got a sense of just how big NFL football is?
I don't even know if they know what I play yet, but they know how big it is. Yes, they do, but I don't know if they know I don't know if they know how their son is. How they just know I play football, and they know it's football. They hate people. Please don't get injured. This it is like this, but yeah. So
Can they find you on the screen if they're watching that big dude? That's my son. That's my brother.
Right in the middle of the action.
no, I don't think so, because I think he watched the preseason, because I told him I was wearing 97. I think I need to tell him I changed number again.
He's looking at the wrong guy.
Yeah, he was looking at it hey, are you white now? So yeah, it's
That's
Who you mentioned? You weren't looking up to Ray Lewis as a child. Who were you kind of looking up to as a sports figure when you were growing up? Somebody in basketball, I would assume.
I looked at Shaq.
I was gonna say it's got to be Shaq.
Yeah,
I looked at Shaq. I looked at LeBron. I didn't start playing till LeBron era. So
Yeah.
I didn't look at I wasn't gonna be Jordan or something, but I like LeBron because his style of play and how he plays as a team with his teammate, you know. And Shaq too, as he's like big and dominant and stuff like that. So yeah.
I'm sure you got a lot of Shaq comparisons during your basketball days. I mean,
Yeah,
you got low.
Don't want any piece of that.
Yeah.
Last one for me is just, you know, how much are you enjoying this journey, man? I mean, 2 years on the practice squad, now you're playing in games. From where you've come from, not knowing the game, nothing. How much are you enjoying this?
I'm trying to suck it in, but I still just don't want to get too high or get too low, you know, like I'm trying to suck it in, be in the moment, be present, you know, like start winning, you know, like we need to like, you know, start winning. So yeah, I feel like that will change, and he's gonna change soon because
Hey, I'm curious. The Ravens have a Nigerian, you know, contingency here in the locker room. Okoye obviously is now out in LA. You guys swap spots, but David Ajabo, Nnamdi Madubuike, has that been a source of like, I don't know, brotherhood as you make this transition? Yeah,
they've been helpful. Like Dav, the way you said, like, I kind of like, you know, it kind of sucks that he left. Like, he got to go, but Ja and Biggs, they've been like a resource to me, you know, try to help me out. And I think they actually did help me out, like really, really good during training camp and everything, you know. So I just thank God. And I think we got an additional Nigerian player by David to the practice squad. So
I was just gonna say that they're bringing in the next C.J. Okoye, hopefully. Now he's from London, right?
Yeah, he's from London. So, but he's a Nigerian, bro.
Gotcha.
I think he grew up in London or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. They just can't get enough of this story. The international defensive lineman. That's where it's at.
But, you know, my last one is, if we were having this conversation 5 years ago, I'm sure you couldn't even imagine being in the seat that you're in today.
I don't think I will agree with you saying, like, I'm going to leave basketball to play football. Like, 5 years ago was like 21. I didn't even want to go to like the stuff they told me. They told me about. Like, nah. So, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be a basketball player, but now I don't even watch basketball that much because football is more fun, you know. I was just confined to like what I knew back then. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have no access to like football. We didn't even know when the season starts and that. You know what I mean? So we didn't watch football growing up, but it's different now when I'm here. Like now I just college football, you know, like I haven't pee-wee football, like anything football. Football is fun. Yeah. So
if 5 years from now you look into the future, what do you see?
Hopefully I'm still playing, you know. Hopefully I'm, you know, be a all pro, you know.
You're the guy that they're circling.
Yeah, hopefully I'm still the guy that, you know, they're second. Not the guy that be like, we need to run the screen to his side or do this to his side. No, hopefully I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sure. Well, I look forward to it, man. Look forward to it. Thank you for joining us, man.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back into the Lounge Podcast. We are coming to you from the SeatGeek studio. We want to give a shout out to our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are an official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. So really enjoyed the conversation with CJ. Great story.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that, as he talked about 5 years ago, football wasn't even on his radar.
Yeah.
Not just playing football, even a fan of the game, knowing the rules. And credit to him for getting to this point, really overcoming a lot of odds just to get to this spot. Yeah. And I do think he has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, and honestly, as John Harbaugh said, it's been a blessing for the Ravens and kind of a pleasant surprise to a degree. I don't think anybody this season, when you have an international player coming in on your practice squad, you know, it's probably going to take another year of seasoning, but we saw in the preseason, he played well. And then when the Ravens had Nnamdi Madubuike and Broderick Washington go down to injuries, like they needed somebody to step on that defensive line. And so big credit to CJ and a boon for the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where his career goes. And he's a likable guy, and I think he'll have a lot of fans rooting for him. So again, thanks to him for joining us, and also the big game coming up this week against the Bears. And so we want to talk a little bit about what the Ravens need to do to get a win in this game. And I think let's just start with the biggest question of the week, of course, which is quarterback, and whether Lamar Jackson is going to be back on the field. He did practice Wednesday and Thursday as a limited participant. And so what that means for him and his status for Sunday, I think it's up in the air at this point. In the portion of practice that we've been able to see, he's gone through individual drills, and that's really the extent of the practice portion that we see. What we do know is that he's been limited, and so again, up in the air as to whether he's going to be able to play on Sunday or not.
Todd Monken said it's really up to Lamar and how he feels, how his body feels, and whether he feels able to play in a game. And so, whether that's this week or next week, we'll see. If he doesn't, it's tough to imagine that Lamar is going to suit up for a game after missing 2 straight if he doesn't have a full practice participation.
Right.
On Friday. Like limited on Friday. If he's limited all week, that's tough, and so you want to have a full practice with 11 on 11 and all that stuff, even if you're Superman Lamar Jackson, and so then the secondary question is, if Lamar doesn't play, then who does start for the Ravens at quarterback? Again, that's up in the air, and John Harbaugh has not tipped his hand one way or the other on that, whether it would be Cooper Rush for a 3rd straight game or Tyler Huntley.
Yeah. Going into the last game against the Rams, both of them played. Cooper Rush, of course, started. Tyler Huntley came in late in the 4th quarter, and the offense had a spark with Tyler Huntley at quarterback and moved the ball. It didn't put up points, but was able to move the ball, and it seemed like he brought a little bit of a spark to that offense. Now, Harbaugh said in that game, the plan was for both of them to play. So I don't know if that's going to be the same plan again, if they go into it saying, let's see both of these guys on the field, depending on the situation, depending on riding the hot hand. And if that's the case, is the starter, how important is the starter? I don't know. I think that, Tyler Huntley,
hopefully it will be very important, because whoever starts the game has a hot hand. That's right. They have the hot hand through the whole thing.
Yeah, an interesting point on Huntley, and Ravens fans probably remember this. He actually did beat the Bears. Go back to 2021. Lamar Jackson was sick, and that was a game that
in Chicago,
nobody really expected nobody expected, including Tyler Huntley, to play that game.
Like, they're out the morning of.
They're on the flight over there, and everyone's looking at Lamar on the plane like, that guy doesn't seem like he's feeling too good. Yeah. And that extended into the game. Couldn't play in the game. Huntley gets word the morning of that you're going to be up, and ends up playing. And the Ravens win that game. The big play that he hit late in that game was a deep pass to Sammy Watkins along the sidelines to put the Ravens in good position to win that game. So he does have experience against the Bears if he ends up being the guy.
Yeah, and we all know what Snoop brings to the table. He's a veteran quarterback who's won games and kept the Ravens in a bunch of games even when he didn't win. And obviously what he offers as a scrambler, I think his teammates have confidence in him. I think that if called upon, that Snoop can keep this a game and give the Ravens a chance to beat the Bears, certainly. Yeah,
so fingers crossed, obviously, that the Ravens have all 3 quarterbacks available in this game, starting with Lamar Jackson, but we'll see. We'll probably get a better indication of that on Friday when we see, is he limited, is he full, and then also on the injury report, does he get ruled out? Is it questionable? Is there no injury designation? Like, what is his status from Friday?
We'll get a lot more insight
I
tomorrow.
think that will be the final indication as to what the likelihood is of him playing in the game.
Yeah. And Lamar Jackson's return to the practice field isn't the only positive injury news for the Ravens. They have several guys who are on the mend. I mean, Roquan Smith is expected to be back after he missed a couple games because of his hamstring injury. Pat Ricard is expected to make his season debut. Yep. That's huge. Chidobe Awuzie has missed the past 2 games at corner with a hamstring injury, and then Ronnie Stanley has been dealing with that ankle injury that's forced him to either not play or leave early in the past 3 games. So those are 4 key players for the Ravens that are coming back healthy. You hope, obviously, Lamar Jackson can return, but I think overall, this is the healthiest the Ravens have been in quite some time.
I think that they are definitely getting healthier. Obviously,
I mentioned Roquan Smith, right?
You did mention Roquan. Yeah.
Big game
The question,
Bears.
of course, is still the quarterback. So it's like it's hard to feel like, oh, you're healthiest you've ever been if Lamar's not on the field.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. But I do think even if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, this team is better set up for success because some of those other pieces are back.
Like, it's a much different team than we saw against the Texans even against the Rams. Like, against the Texans, this was a mash unit where you had a bunch of guys just out in that game. And then it got a little better against the Rams, and it's gotten much better in this game. And so I think that all of that is positive. I'll just say big picture-wise this week, the energy that I have felt coming out of the bye, I think that all of the storylines that we discussed going into it about how it could be a reset and how it could be an opportunity for this team to come back rejuvenated and to get a little healthier and to have some, just to take a deep breath when things were going bad and you're at 1-5. I think all of those things are true. I really do get the feeling in talking with players that DeAndre Hopkins, I thought, summed it up pretty well this week when he talked about how there's this focus and this attention to detail and kind of a playoff mindset for this team coming out of the bye, knowing where they are, where they want to go, and how many games they need to win to get there.
Yep. And I think Lamar Jackson's return to the practice field certainly lifted everybody's spirits when that happened on Wednesday and he jogged out. And even if Lamar doesn't play in this game, I think it's obviously a clear indication that it's not far off. And just having Lamar back out there helps a lot. And I agree with you. Having the break, it kind of taking that mental reset, knowing your backs are up against the wall. This team often has responded in that same position. And getting other guys back on the field, all of that, I think, has led to a locker room that feels better, certainly, than it did going into the bye.
A couple of guys mentioned, a little bit unprompted too, like the playoff mindset piece, as well as like Tyler Linderbaum mentioned, like we want to go 12-5.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do the math there. That means you got to win the rest of your games this regular season. You got to win 11 straight. And so when I hear those things, that gives me an indication of the way this team is thinking. Playoffs, winning all your games. All that stuff shows me that the Ravens feel like they can get hot, they can go on a run. But I also do think that they are they're not worried about games a month from now. I think that the struggles early on have put them in a position where they realize we got to worry about what's happening right now, and you got to win the game this week. You can't win all of them. You can't win 11 this Sunday. You need to win Sunday against the Bears.
This is as close to a must-win as you can get in the regular season, and particularly it's unfamiliar territory in October for the Ravens to be in this position. And they know that. They're embracing that. And I think trying to turn that into a rallying cry for them. Yeah. And specifically against the Bears, just to get into what it's going to take to beat them, I do think that the Ravens need to play well defending the run. The Bears have been running the ball particularly well in the last few weeks. It's very challenging. Zach Orr talks about it, about how Ben Johnson, their head coach, really kind of mixes up the runs. You're going to get stuff that you haven't seen from them on tape at all. And so they have to be very good against the run, which has been a little bit of an Achilles heel so far this season. And they, particularly if they're going to get any pressure on the quarterback, they need to be getting in more third and long situations. Zach Orr did say that the number one focus for them as a staff over the bye was scheming up more pressure. Their pressure scheme, they have to be able to generate more negative plays. And quite frankly, after the loss of Tavius Robinson to the broken foot, you're one more player down in terms of getting after the quarterback. And so it's going to be even more on scheme. How do we scheme guys, free rushers, open rushers? They took a long, hard look at that over the bye, and he feels good about where they stand and their ability to get more pressure on the quarterback.
Offensively, the two things that I'll point to, one of them, I think, continue to lean on what you did against the Rams with Derrick Henry and the ground game, but you need to be better in situations. Derrick Henry had a big game. Well, they weren't able to punch it in at the goal line. They weren't good in short yardage situations. Yeah. So, you need to do the first part, but then when you get into third and short, second and goal, those types of situations, you got to be able to finish the job.
Well, the return of Pat Ricard certainly helps with that. I think that's been under-discussed this season, is how much he's been missed in this offense.
Well, and having him back, I mean, he's a Pro Bowl player. He's one of the best fullbacks in the game and has been for a long time.
And you just talk about setting the tone physically. That he is a tone setter. And so I think that his return can make a big difference.
And then the last thing on offense, I think you could probably say this every game, but you got to play clean. The Bears are really good at punching out the football. They get a lot of takeaways. That's like
they lead the league in takeaways.
Exactly. That's the strength of their defense in a lot of ways. I talked to Coach Harbaugh about that this week, and he emphasized that they're a defense that just takes the ball away. And so if you want to be an offense that can have success against them, you can't give it up.
Yep.
And this offense, regardless of who's at quarterback, whether it's Lamar, whether it's Cooper Rush, whether it's Tyler Huntley, they're going to be in a situation where either it's Lamar coming off an injury or it's going to be one of those other guys stepping in, for the starter. And so my point is they're not going to be in a situation where they can afford turnovers. I just don't think
You don't think they're going to go out and put up 35 is what you're saying.
I don't think that this offense is going to be able to overcome a 3-turnover game. Like I just don't think that based on all of the mechanics of it, you need to be able to play a clean game offensively.
Yeah.
And especially against, again, a defense that takes the ball away.
Yeah.
And
and Cooper Rush has had 4 interceptions in 2 starts so far.
Yeah.
And Tyler Huntley, I think he provides a spark, but kind of his bugaboo over his career is that he can get a little reckless sometimes and throw some interceptions. And, everything looks great. And then, oh my gosh, 2 steps forward, 1 step back with a pick.
Yeah.
And so that's what he has to avoid.
Yeah. You have to, and I think, again, it could be lean on 22. He showed you last game that he's ready. And no matter who's at quarterback, Derrick Henry's ready for the heavy workload.
The Bears' run defense has been their weakness.
Yep.
So let's attack
even
the
more
weakness.
reason.
Exactly.
Even more reason. So we're looking forward to this game. It's really important for this team. As always, you can email us at thelounge@ravens.nfl.net. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be back with you again after the game on Sunday against the Bears.